Alrighty. Grand Rising, party people, Pleiasbians, and today mamas. We got 30 minutes on the clockina. We do have the clockina today. And, sorry, dissociated for a second there. um, we're back and better than ever on the patio, and the energy is different this week, like every week. So let's get into this. This week's episode is episode 24. This is November 17th episode. I think I'm recording this on November 15th. Yeah, because it's Saturday. And the 17th is going to be a Monday, so it's a Monday when I'm posting this, but maybe not a Monday when you're seeing this. Episode 24, 24 weeks in a row. Can you believe that, y'all? This episode is called Sandy. I might have mentioned that because my aunt, my Sandy Kala, thank you so much for the ideas that you have helped permeate, help induce inside of me, um, inject into my bloodstream directly through an IV. Anyway, let's get going, y'all. So, Sandy's questions that she wanted to ask the podcast or that she gave me. How does the cat feel? And so we're talking about the move here. And I think the cat is all over the place actually. So we're just like all of us, right? Oh, unfortunate. Yesterday I saw my friend Aaliyah, and if Aaliyah's watching this right now, then you'll see more information. But I'm talking specifically about my father right now because she was like, he seems like a pitying, wallowing, and I was like, yeah, a little bit. Like maybe not a lot of it, maybe not forever bit, but like a lot of it. Wait, I don't know what I just said there, but like most of the bit. Most of his bits. He does good stuff. And like she said this too. She was like, yeah, he does like take care of you guys and the family, but like he doesn't allow himself to grow and he doesn't allow anyone else to grow. And like I couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest. So because of that, truly the cat has been feeling all sorts of things, like anxious, scared, probably PTSD, mental illnesses in general, right? And like that's a cat. Like Phantom, our 15-year-old man, like he's truly a man, and he's from Houston. He's going from here, from there to there to here, and yeah, I know cats move around a lot, but he's a Hurricane Harvey cat found in the hurricane. He don't need no trauma. He don't need no moving around. He was meant to be a house cat. That's just my take on it for how does the cat feel. I feel bad. I feel a little sad about that. Let's talk about winter clothes. So, moving on, I guess. Yeah, a lot of my winter clothes, a lot of them, I have already moved to Houston, and another chunk of my winter clothes are here because it's getting a little colder, and I will be taking a trip to Utopia, Texas, and I don't think it'll be cold then. I'm going to a cabin with someone, and yeah, I don't think it'll be that cold then. Like look at me right now. I'm wearing a romper, and it's like November, and it's like dark out, but the clouds are moving, and like there's not much sun. Windy, cold. So yeah, the winter clothes, they're in Houston, they're in, and like, things are moving around a lot because I think I might have mentioned this, but I might have failed to keep up with the conversation because the conversation is just shifting so wackily, wildly recently. My dad went to Houston to like drop off some items and like get the key from the renters. So we had like two of my luggages, three of my backpacks, and like a couple of duffel bags filled of my items, books, clothes, stuffed animals, trinkets, really anything that could get my load to be lower. And then I also convinced the rest of my family to start that process as well. So like the actual house looks like we're moving now, whereas like for a long time it was like no, like it looks like a home. And like yeah, you do want your house to feel like a home, but if you're about to move, like you should see things continuously like changing because it's an ecosystem. And if you don't do that, you're gonna come to the day of moving and like shove everything into boxes not carefully. And Joaquina reminded me of that because I did that last year, and Joaquina also did that last year, and we're all guilty of it from some point or another of shoving all things into a box, I'm sure. But we do deserve more care in our lives. So I wanted to talk about cooking. Yeah, I have been cooking a little bit more lately, and my aunt was also like persuading me a little bit to talk about cooking on the podcast because she was like, "Yeah, like you cook a lot and you make great meals, and I think like it would help you keep up with cooking too." And yeah, maybe I didn't finish what I was saying about the winter clothes and such, but like I've got a bandmate. My drummer Dale is offering so kindly a space in his home, like just to put some of my items. So I'll probably put like some summer clothes there and some like my drums, my music, my items, my musical items, my instruments, because I won't use all of them in Houston. Like I brought all my paint supplies in Houston already because I'm going to be like focusing on like art in a different way, like the same way that I've been doing here in Austin, but it's just gonna look different because also I'll have like less items in Houston with me. But yeah, the items that I'm keeping at Dale's house and moving to Austin again in like February, like it's gonna be a really quick turnaround. Like already this is a quick turnaround. Like already my items are in Houston, so I am in progress of moving back to Houston, right? And that's hard for me to imagine because I haven't gone to Houston since like I don't know, I wanna say September. I don't know, maybe I went in October. No, I did go in October for my dentist appointment. But yeah, my aunt makes a good point because, like, if I'm moving out alone and I don't have roommates or anything, like, I'm the one that's responsible for feeding myself. And I'm great typically at keeping a schedule when I'm by myself. And I'm also, like, just great as a human when I'm by myself typically. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to taking care of myself and to having fun in whatever this looks like. Um, Cooking. I made some brown buttered corn. I made some cornbread again, but I like had to scientifically mix up the cornbread to a better consistency because it's just so disturbingly textured, so disturbingly thick. And the little bit of science that I did was like I put a lot more flour, I put butter, I put um, sugar because, well, it was a process, you know. Like I brought the HEB brand cornbread thinking that it'd be fine because it's cheaper and it's HEB and we love HEB. And I tasted it and I was like, that's disturbing actually. Like that's not what I'm looking for when I'm eating cornbread. I don't know why I expected this to be the same as the cornbread that I'm like loving and happy with. But anyway, I made it work and it tasted good. And yeah, I've cooked a lot in my life. I was in nutrition in high school, so that helped me make a lot of meals like pizza, burgers, pastas. Yeah, I can cook whatever, to be honest. Homemade by scratch. I'm really good at making macaroons, you know, like the French cookie. Really good. Like it doesn't matter what the climate is, I'll make them. And I'll understand the temperature and I'll understand the weather. I'm a good cook for some whatever reason. This may be a short episode. I don't know. We're 10 minutes in and I think we're doing good though. So, Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This book is the book of the month for my book club that I'm a part of. Kate and her partner Dylan were, I think they watched the movie and then they started to read it. Again, these are book club members. Um, and Joaquin has also seen it as a movie, and Aaliyah's also seen it as a movie. And well, Aaliyah's not part of the book club yet, but I'm like really excited because this book disturbed me quite a bit, and like reading it, I was like, oh my god, like this is horrifying. Like it's a sci-fi book and it's done it so well in a way that I've never really like read before. Psychologically, like and philosophically, I felt tested and I was like seeing parts of myself, like the best parts of myself and the worst parts of myself reflected in this character, in multiple characters actually. And I'm really excited to see what the rest of my friends think because, yeah, I've talked to multiple people about it and it's just so intriguing. All I know is that I love the book club. We talked about the left hand of darkness on the podcast a while back. The podcast is about a lot of things, right? It's about life. It's about becoming. It's about friends. It's about change. It's about pushing ourselves. It's about community. It's about learning. And if we're not reading, if we're not talking, if we're not sharing, then what are we doing here? I feel like a better teacher. I feel like a more patient person. I feel like a better person these days. But I don't feel like a perfect person. I know I'm not supposed to be a perfect person, but there's some things that I don't like about myself, and those are my own intricacies to deal with. Annihilation. Books make you think. Life makes you think. Let's talk about seasonal depression and beating it. Okay, so it's darker out, and the vitamin D is not kissing my beautiful sun-kissed skin, my melanated, beautiful, beautiful brown skin. And yeah, if the sun were beating down on me right now, my fire sign energy would probably feel a little more satiated in this world. But right now I've been feeling cold. And I, as a fire sign, maintain warmth throughout this season and give that warmth to others. And as the seasons change me and erode me like a river, like a rock, and I become someone different, I feel more weathered. I feel more grounded and I feel more earthly. And to the earth we will all return. What am I even talking about? Seasonal depression? Damn, and this is where we're going with it? What am I doing? Um, I'm a very, everyone calls me a star child, and then I've got my 71-year-old friend Sandy. Interesting enough that we're talking about Sandy on Sandy Kalla's episode because Sandy is different than Sandy. But when I met 71-year-old Sandy, I remembered my aunt Sandy too. And I will always remember them too, because they have the same name. And Sandy is such a wonderful woman, the 71-year-old who taught me how to swim. I'm her water baby. Yeah, through and through. And again, remember, I learned how to swim at 24, and now I'm 25, and I'm gonna be 26 in like 9 months. And at that point, I will have been swimming for like a year and a couple months. And that makes me less seasonally depressed this winter. Life makes me less depressed this winter. But I have PTSD, and my triggers are very interesting. Interesting. Because, like, the winter will give me flashbacks. The wind will hit me in a specific way, from the magnetic currents, from the gravitational pulls, from the direction that it's coming from. And the winds will touch me and bless me, and it will also remind me. And when I remember, I typically remember that in the winter I eat less. I think we all do, maybe by accident, because we're kind of hibernating. But we're meant to eat more because we're humans. It's hard to remember that. So that is how you beat seasonal depression, not your freaking antidepressants. Sorry, maybe you're freaking antidepressants if that's who you are. But that's not who I am. I'm not sorry. Everyone's like, yeah, you're not in therapy, you're not taking antidepressants. Well, being depressed isn't working either. Well, being depressed has worked a lot longer than the therapist that I've gone to for a long time and the medicines that we have. We'll talk about that in a second. I'll get there. So, because, there's just so many responsibilities right now. The government shut down. Is it still shut down? I don't know. Today's the 15th of November, 2025. It may be shut down still. It may not be shut down still. All I know is that they're going through the House and the Senate, and they were voting on not being shut down anymore. But I had some things to say about this. SNAP benefits, Palestine, housing crises, immigration crises, school crises. We are in a crisis, folks. The pandemic is exposing wires that have been exposed for years, but now we're stepping on them because there's so many exposed wires and so many of us are falling victim. And then there's some survivors that have been stepping on the viruses that have been stepping on the wires, that have been stepping on the eggshells, and they've been feet calloused, broken, bleeding, and yet they exfoliate and go to the sauna and remove that dead skin and continue to show up with soft skin and do it again. And those aren't the people in the government. Those are the people in the front lines. Those are the first responders. Those are our most brilliant minds. Some of the craziest people that we understand as crazy are some of the best people. And if we truly represented our people, all of our people, when we were voted in, and not just the people that we liked the most, like Republicans or Democrats voting for Republicans because they're just Republicans at this point. We're entering a fascist country. We are in a fascist country. Anyway, before I get into that too much and say too much, let's talk about Sydney Sweeney being a racist. Girl. White girls. I mean, I love them. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love me a white girl. I love me a white person. I love people. But, girl, everyone's talking about you. Everyone's talking about you. I'm a podcast host, and I was supposed to talk about this last week, but now we're talking about it this week, and that's all right. And Sydney Sweeney was talking about, well, no, she wasn't even talking about nothing, actually. She was on a podcast. I don't even remember whose podcast it was. All I know is I watched that. I watched that episode, not the full episode, just the part of that episode, the brief part, and I was like, I don't need to watch more because we need to talk about this. We must talk about this on the podcast because I'm sure people who are watching my podcast, a small amount, maybe a large amount, maybe a good amount of the people watching my podcast have heard about the Sydney Sweeney event. She got asked about her white jeans ad, and it's crazy because like a while back I saw that ad and I was like, what the heck is that? What is she talking about? The white jeans are the best jeans. What is she talking about? I can't even say that. That's crazy. I feel like I'm saying a slur. I feel like a racist. Sydney Sweeney said white jeans are better than, or the best jeans or something like that. And she was talking about like jeans, like legs, like the things that you put on the legs. And girl, she was like, if I ever have anything that I would like to say about anything, then I will say those things. Like, girl, duh. Duh. Then say them things. If you're trying to tell me that you're not a racist, then tell me you're not a racist. Girl, what are you doing? Wow, I think we're doing pretty good. 20 minutes on the last topic, and I don't have anything for next week's, but I think that's pretty good because sometimes, in the beginning of this episodes, the beginning of the podcast, beginning of the project, we had kind of just gone off on tangents, and who doesn't mind a tangent? So we'll go on the tangential runs for a moment. I will take a break though because I need a drink of water. Okay, I actually lied. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I actually lied. I didn't get a drink of water. I'm just gonna talk because the clocking is going, and I was 18 minutes in, and I'm feeling good, and then I'll get my drink of water in like 10 minutes. So, yeah, I had taken trazodone, and I took it once, and then I had a pretty horrible experience on it. I'm a very sensitive person, and because of that, I know my body very well. And because of that, I take a medicine and immediately it affects me, even if I have food in my belly. I think it's because of how I've trained my body with marijuana, to be honest, because with edibles, it's the same way. No matter how much food I take, it will hit me immediately as I take it. I will feel a high. Um, and maybe that's another part that's affecting the trazodone, to be honest. But I was given it as a sleep aid, and I just had a manic episode. Like, I took it, I woke up. Well, I didn't even wake up. I took it, I was awake. I felt more awake, and I was like, this is brilliant. I'm high. This is amazing. I don't have to take my marijuana to feel like this. I can just feel high on trazodone. And then I was like, wait, this medicine's for me sleeping. And then I was freaking out some more, and I was like, but I'm not getting tired. And then all of a sudden, I crashed and started to get tired, and I was like, this is horrible. And then the next day, I yeah, of course, had some stomach aches. I was expecting that, but the irritation was out of the like it just wasn't good. Like there was so many things that I again could tell my doctor about, but I just had to step away from that moment because I was like, I've got a podcast, I've got a band, I've got friends that I take care of, I've got a community. You know, there's a world that we're taking care of together and that we're doing our best to be better friends, better people, better educators, just better people. Just better people. And yeah, I needed to step away from that medicine because I did not feel like my best version of myself. I didn't feel like a good version of myself either. I felt like one of the worst versions of myself. That's crazy. Like recently I've been seeing like the worst of myself in community, and that does not feel good. I feel like a child in a lot of aspects. I feel like a child in most aspects. And I guess like a lot of people feel like that. And I guess like we should. To the end of the day, feel like a child, you know? We should be open. People have so much to say. Let's talk about all the things that people have to say. All the things I say, all the things I say, running through my head, running through my head, running through my brain. All the things I say. Sorry, what? Why am I apologizing? I'm okay. Anyway, so I want children. Okay, I'll just say it. I'll just say it. I want kids, and I want my own kids, and I want my kids to have a family, and I want them to be protected. And they will be protected because they'll be my children, and I'm protected, and anyone who comes into my life is protected, but my family will be protected. Hmm. Hmm. My family will be protected. That's just the truth of it. And yeah, I guess you know we have just a couple more minutes on the podcast, and we don't have anything to say about next week for right now because I was supposed to do a podcast with my friend Free, and that's getting or not suspended. It's getting. I mean, maybe that's the word, suspended. It's getting pushed, and that's fine. And I'll do a podcast interview with like someone else. I will. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be great. Actually, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be fantastic. Regardless what happens, I'm really excited. And yeah, I want kids, dude. It's been getting like an itch that I have to scratch. I must scratch because well, I don't know. I don't know. I've got time. Like I know how much time I have. I know how well, I don't know exactly how much time I have, but I have a time frame. I've been building relationships. I've been just trying to figure myself out. Again, this is just for the podcast's sake, right? Like we're just giving information freely. We're like talking about it as if I'm interviewing myself, I guess, and I'm being honest, erratically, I guess. Um, but yeah, I had this ex who has three children, and he may or may not watch this project. I don't know, to be honest. But well, I know some he watches. I know which he watches too sometimes because I will ask him. But I don't know if he continues anyway. My point is, regardless of if he's watching or not, I would have so much trouble when I would like want to talk about how much I wanted kids, and then something about his responses made me feel like he thought that I wasn't meant for kids, or maybe like it just wasn't like we were together for a year and a half, and we talked about kids, you know, but like even though he indulged me with the idea and he was like, yeah, I would have kids with you, he was also like, I'm old and I don't like know if I could do that again, and obviously like that stuff makes me think about me and who I am and what I'm doing in this world and like me wasting my own time, you know? Or what does a waste of time even mean? What does a highest timeline even look like? And it's just strange because, you know, I lived like my entire life, like until I was 17, not wanting kids. No, not even when I was 17. Like, I don't even know when I started wanting kids. Like, it was somewhere in the last couple of years. Last 2 years, I think. Like, I think I made. Hmm, I think I felt enough in my relationships of love, even if they weren't capable of the love that I needed. and that my family will need. I felt like I was capable of it. I learned I was. Maybe the entire time I was a child, I didn't think I would be a good mother. Because so many people have eugenistic ideas about being a mother. Oh, God. And they don't even unpack it. And so we have all these social issues. Oh my God, I'm going crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have all these social issues. And then we blame the mothers. And we blame the fathers. And we blame the parents. And we blame ourselves. And we blame each other. And I do it too. I'm a hypocrite. But I reparent them, and then I become the parent at 25. And then I have children that are not even my own womb's blood. They're someone else's womb's blood. And in a way, it's also my womb's blood. Anyway, I had a moment. I'm allowed to have my moments. We're all allowed to have our moments. And you know what? The podcast is to show y'all who I am and what a moment looks like, even. I'm growing out my bangs. You know, what a moment looks like. What does a moment look like? I'm not recording this on Friday. Oh, sorry. What do I mean? I'm not recording this on a Monday. We used to record on Mondays religiously, statistically. But the podcast changes. We go with the flow, where the winds take us, where the waves change, where the ripples are meant to go, where the earthquakes shift. I hear geese, and I see two geese. That's me and Morgo. Anyway, if you know, you know. You probably don't. Morgo is one of my friends. Morgo, if you're watching this, I love you. Regardless, um, we got a couple more minutes. I got to 30 minutes, so we did great. As always, party people, Pleiasbians, and the mamas, thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want changed in the podcast, tell me what you want the same. And until next time, folks, well, you know what I'm going to tell y'all. You know, eat better foods, be healthy, take care of your mind, take care of your friends, take care of your community, take care of your people, take care of your children, take care of your water, hydrate, take care of your sugar, don't have so much. Do your best. Read a book. Read a book with someone else. Read a book with the community. Take care of your gifts that you're given, whatever that means. And until next time,